Our heroes begin the adventure as members of a traveling circus called the Circus of Wayward Wonders. They might be performers, roustabouts, or other assistants, but they each consider the circus their home. The circus is very new. Less than a year ago, several performers in Mistress's Dustlight Celestial Menagerie, including our heroes, tired of the heartless ringmaster's cruel ways, quit to form their own circus. These performers knew they would need to leave Escadar quickly to avoid Mistress Dusklight's wrath, and they committed themselves to a life of wayward wanders. The new circus's leaders, an elderly circus veteran, only known as the Professor, and a bombastic showman named Myron Thunder Stencil, lead the Circus of Wayward Wonders out of Escadar and across the Isle of Erin. After several months of practices and performances for the homesteaders and farmers, the circus is ready to perform a large show in a sizable town. Abterin isn't what many people would consider a destination for performers, but it's where the Circus of Wayward Wonders must start. Welcome, everyone, to Roll for Combat 3-Ring Adventure, Season 1. The show must go on.
Friends, guests, and adventurers of all ages, tonight's show is for the brave, the fearless, and the dangerously curious. Witness feats of strength, daring acrobatics, and mystifying magic. Get ready to have the most astounding night of your life. Welcome to the Circus of Wayward Wonders. Welcome to Roll for Combat 3-Ring Adventure.
As you all are sitting around the big tent, getting ready to go on and begin the very first act of this brand new circus, everyone is in their corners, practicing, getting ready for their acts. No one knows exactly what the order is because Myron likes to keep things fresh, keep everyone on their toes, and only tells them at the last second when they're ready to go on. As usual, Myron is off on his own, getting ready to command the crowd with his bombastic voice. In the meantime, the four of you are together as usual since you've become rather close over the last couple of months. And as you prepare for the circus to begin, the professor shouts out to everyone behind the scenes, 15 minutes, everybody. 15 minutes. Get ready. With that, why don't we introduce our adventurers and tell me what you're doing while you're getting ready to prepare to go on tonight.
Vanessa Hoskins is playing Alhara Varys, the amazingly agile Alhara, a half-elf gymnast swashbuckler.
Alhara is doing her stretches. She is sort of adjusting her outfit, making sure everything's the way it should be, checking that her skirt is straight, and then starts stretching out her legs, doing little jumps in place to make sure her energy level's up, and getting ready to go out there and wow the crowd.
Rob Tremarco is playing Darius Varys, Darius's Daring Destructions, a half-elf monk of the mountain style.
Darius is putting the last bits of his makeup on that makes him look like a green troll. He has a big, bushy, crazy wig. He has like bones hanging from a necklace and a furry waistcoat short thing. And he's putting in some oversized lower jaw fangs and also stretching a bit.
Lauren Sig is playing Hap, the Starlight Sparrow, a human fire elementalist sorcerer.
Hap already has on way too much black eyeliner and black lipstick, and she stands somewhere where there's a lot of height to the tent, and is releasing flamethrower-like gouts of fire into the air to practice.
Rob Pontius is playing Otteron, Uncanny Otteron's Cauldron of Curious Concoctions, a human witch of curses.
Otteron is reviewing their alchemical ingredients in case they need to go on with their Cauldron of Tricks, or perhaps aid in any of the fiery tricks that others might do.
Meanwhile, around the tent, you see some familiar sights. The Flamboni Sisters are practicing their flame juggling. The Featherfall 5 are practicing their tightrope act, kind of doing it on the ground, if you will, bouncing around, stretching, getting ready. The dwarf throwers, they're just sort of boasting and laughing and punching each other and butting each other in the heads as they usually do. Eliza and Mr. Tickles are off in the corner. She's getting ready and trying to coax Mr. Tickles to eat a mouse. You have Axel, who's way off in the corner, and although Axel's never performed before for the show officially, he's fooling around with his birds. And then, as usual, Mordana, she's off on her own, but since she's a bit of a diva and just kind of finds all of this kind of beneath her, even though she's part of the circus, she probably wishes she weren't. As you continue your stretches and getting ready, the professor looks over to everyone and once again announces, 10 minutes, everybody. 10 minutes. Be ready. It looks like we got a full house out there.
Oh gosh, you guys, I hope I do all right. This is my first act.
Really? In front of the crowd? I mean, you've done the smaller shows and we're doing just fine.
Mistress Dusklight didn't used to let me do any acts. I always wanted to perform. I told her I had what it takes, but she didn't believe me.
Well, we believe you, kid. And we know you have what it takes. Besides, this is all her loss anyway. This show's going to be amazing.
Thanks, big sis. I believe you.
You're going to be great. You're already great. You command powers beyond those of any person watching. They'll be amazed by your fire. I know this.
I hope you're right, but that doesn't make my knees any less shaky.
Darius, you missed a spot right here on your chin. I got it. She rubs Darius.
Thank you.
Reaches up and rubs Darius's chin and then sort of wipes it off on some random bit of cloth nearby and re-chalks her hands.
Adoran looks around between everyone, pauses a moment, and says, I'm sure you will do fine, Hap. I'm sure you will do fine. But trails off and goes back to their ingredients.
Thanks, Adoran.
They're just like that. But let's just focus on the positive. We're all going to do amazing, and we're going to really wow the crowd tonight. When they've seen us, they won't even care about that celestial, boring show. Trust me.
Yeah.
With that, some of the other performers are peeking through the curtain and saying, you hear in hushed tones like, oh my lord, there's a lot of people. And you see them almost being a little nervous, even though you know they've done this a million times. But it's one thing to perform in front of small crowds and farmers, but it's another thing to perform in a huge tent with pretty much the entire town in attendance, including the mayor. And they sort of wave you over to take a peek outside the curtain just to see what's going on outside.
Oh, geez, I was really hoping for a small crowd.
No, you want a big crowd. The more people that see you, the more people know how amazing you are.
Oh, the more people I can disappoint if I mess this up.
Just don't mess up.
You can't mess up. You'll do great.
I'll do my best.
If you mess up, simply act as if it is on purpose.
You meant to do it.
That makes sense. Everyone will understand that I purposely set them on fire. I'm sure that'll go over really well.
No, do not do this. No.
Well, you know a bunch of water spells, right? To put them out. Just pretend it was part of the act.
I don't know any water spells.
Oh, no.
We'll keep buckets nearby. Trust me, eventually, people will want to be set on fire by you. It will be as if you personally involve them in their act.
Oh gosh, I'm just so nervous.
As long as it's a brief fire. And Darius will laugh and kneel down and, try not to get makeup on her, but still try and give her a hug.
Thank you, big brother. I needed this.
Ataran backs away from the hugging.
Aww.
Meanwhile, Ataran starts to check to make sure they have the various healing potions just in case.
Do they have healing potions?
They do.
Which healing potions would they have?
I believe I have 2. Yes. 2 minor healing potions. Just in case.
Just in case. Little injuries can happen. Of course, the rest of you take a small peek, whether going up to the curtain or seeing it through the other performers opening the curtain just to look at the crowd. As you can see, the Circus of Wayward Wonders, as you know, performs in an enormous tent, capable of holding hundreds of people. And it appears like that was a good thing, because it seems like the entire population of Aberton has turned out for the show tonight. As you know, many of the town's most prominent citizens, including the mayor, are amongst the throng, jostling for seats, peering at the three rings that fill the center of the tent, and waiting excitingly for the show to begin. As the lights go down and the audience settles onto the seats, you start to get ready. You start taking your places as the professor says, 5 minutes, everybody. Places, everybody. And you're waiting your cues. Suddenly, though, several of the performers closest to the curtain that separates the three rings from the rest of the tent leave their assignments, gathering in a small crowd to exchange frightened whispers and hushed gasps. Amidst the crowd, you look over and you recognize that it's Myron, the ringmaster. He appears like he is contorted, as if caught forever in the throes of terrible pain. More importantly, it appears that he's dead.
What?
Of course, everyone in the circus knew Myron for his amazing, powerful voice that could bring instant silence to the largest crowd. And he knew everything there is to know about putting on a successful performance. And he was in charge of tonight's performance. And now he's dead. But the crowd is still out there. And they're expecting a show. What do you do?
This is part of the show, isn't it? I mean, he's okay, right?
The professor walks over, places his hand on the temple and the neck of Myron, and he shakes his head, and he says, I'm sorry. It looks like he's dead. He just has a pained expression as he looks to everyone. The other performers all seem to be freaking out. All of them are kind of just dropping their equipment, stunned. Some of them are in silence. Some of them just seem to be frozen in place. What do you do?
Hap starts crying, and her copious amounts of eyeliner starts running, and it actually looks better for her act.
Aderon's brow furrows slightly as they head over to Myron's body, bends down and starts to look over Myron, checking to see if there's any sign of actual damage, attacks, alchemical substances, or anything magical that they might notice.
Is there a medicine check that Darius can help with?
Yes, you can. If you look at the ringmaster, you can do a quick medicine check to see if you can figure out what's wrong with him, perhaps.
All right, here we go. I will use my medicine check.
Aderon would do their best to point anything out to you that they notice.
First check. Ooh, Darius.
Ooh.
Nice. 23 for a medicine check. Who knew you were so good at medicine? Well, you rolled an 18.
I rolled an 18. Everyone's good with an 18.
That's true. You notice that his legs appear to be so swollen that his pant leg can't be rolled up, and you're going to have to cut off his trousers to see what's going on. He obviously is quite dead, contorted and sort of colored purple on his face and legs. This looks like it was a poison of some sort, although it doesn't look like you're going to have enough time right now to cut off his pants and see what occurred on his leg region. But you're quite sure he's 1, dead, 2, really dead, and
poison?
3, yes, and 3, it's from a poison of some sort.
He died of a poison.
Well, we're going to have to do something. The audience wants a show, and if Myron's
Can we
not going to
have
run
the
it...
clowns go out just to mix around for a bit before we start the show?
Yeah, that'll give us some time.
As the other performers are just gawking, staring at the dead body, whispering to each other. The thin and frail veteran of the circus looks up and says, "Well, what are you all standing around for?" he asks, his weak voice barely audible in the hushed silence. "Have you seen the crowd? We haven't had the tent packed this full, well, ever. There's a show to put on. We have to find a way to do it. So finish up your makeup, get into your costumes, and send in the clowns." With that, he looks at Alara and Darius and Hap and says, "You three appear to be the most capable right now. I need you to quickly figure out the acts and figure out what we're going to do for the show tonight. You know who's who. Quick, let's figure out what we're going to do, since we don't know exactly what Myron planned."
Hap wipes some snot from her nose from crying profusely and goes, "Okay."
All right. I believe we should do something fun first. The clowns are a good start.
I don't want to go first. I like the clown idea.
That's fine. Clowns are out there now? Is that correct?
Well, let's get them looking up before they look down. What if we start with Axel?
Yes, the birds. Perfect.
So right now, the clowns have been sent out. You'll be able to send in the clowns again throughout the show. They're just sort of delaying you while you can quickly figure out who you want for each act. And we'll put together...
How many do we need to do tonight?
Yeah, how many acts?
7.
Yikes. Okay.
Well, sorry, 7 tricks. Okay, I forgot. This is new to everyone. So Act 1 is the opener. And the opener is you need one person to perform a trick. Act 2 is the build-up, where you need 2 tricks performed. And you can either do that as a sister and brother team, or, there's a lot of ways you can do it. Or they could just be individual acts. It doesn't matter.
You guys got to do the build-up.
Act 3 is the big number, and that's 1 trick. And then finally, the grand finale, where you have all 3 rings going about, and you have 3 tricks going on. Not exactly at the same time. They're going on at the same time, but in terms of role-playing and mechanics, we do 1 at a time. So in total, the circus will always have 7 tricks and 4 acts. It's always opener, 1 trick, Act 2, the build-up, 2 tricks, the big number, 1 trick, and then Act 4, the finale, which is 3 tricks. In addition, there will be something that goes wrong. At least one thing, if not several.
That hasn't happened?
No, that hasn't happened.
The ringmaster died.
Well, the ringmaster died as a speed bump. But eventually we'll get to the real
Speed
bad
bump.
stuff.
The show must go on.
That's right. So, with that in mind, you may continue your lineup.
Well, I think you guys should do Act 2, maybe. Your act seems like it works really well for that. And if it's all right, I think I can handle Act 3.
I absolutely
Excellent.
think you should handle Act 3. I think you're ready for it.
I hope so.
We'll put Axel out first.
Oh, Axel comes over to you, and he is looking at you, and he's like, "Oh, you're going to send me out? I'm ready. I know I've never performed in front of a crowd, or really at all. But don't worry, I can do it.
I believe in you. I love your birds so much.
I know you do, Hap. We always have so much fun playing together. I can do it. Trust me. I know Myron had his doubts, but I can do it."
Well, you better hurry up. The clowns are almost done.
Okay, I'm going to go over there and get prepared. I'm going to get my birds all ready. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We need an impromptu ringmaster too, don't we?
Maybe not.
No?
I mean, if someone wants to, they can. But I'm sure people will be fine with us just sending acts out, right? We can decide on our new ringmaster later.
It would be nice for them to know who's performing and what they're supposed to be doing.
Maybe.
We can.
Do y'all think Professor Zarlin's too busy?
Professor,
Yes.
are you all right being the ringmaster tonight?
You're the most familiar with everyone's acts.
Professor looks at you all and says, "I would like to help you out, but I have a lot of work to do behind the scenes, and quite frankly, my voice, it just can't carry. I need someone who can really boast and speak loudly. I'm sure one of the other people in the act would be able to. Many of them are boastful speaking voices, but, I'm just too old for this. I do much better in small crowds."
Ooh. What about the dwarf throwers?
Yeah, well, the dwarf throwers aren't a bad idea, although this is a family circus, and they might get a couple curses in there by accident. Maybe not the best idea.
What do you think about Eliza and Mr. Tickles? They'll definitely get the audience's attention.
That's for sure.
That's such a good idea.
I would agree.
16-foot long anaconda, doesn't matter what you say.
Eliza? That's a pretty good idea. Okay, at least for now. I think Eliza would be up for it. Plus she can wow the crowds with her dance and snakes.
Sure, good. Okay, so Eliza can ringmaster. We still need to figure out the finale. Audron, would you prefer to go in the finale and do your act, or do you think you could help us with a little bit of extra pyrotechnics?
The Flamboni Sisters for sure, and one of the 3 rings.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Flamboni, Ataran, if you're ready to go. And perhaps the
I will
Feather Fall
do
5.
as you wish. It is perhaps best that I help with the pyrotechnics in the last act, but whatever you want.
I mean, I didn't mean to impose. I don't know right now. I just think it will help Hap with a little bit of backup, and the Flamboni Sisters as well.
Yes. More fire, better.
I could
Yes.
really use the visual cues.
Okay, great. Then it's settled. Otteron, you're on pyrotechnics tuning. Do your best to let Hap shine. And Hap, at the end of your act, do you think you can light the Flamboni Sisters' torches with your magic?
It would be my pleasure.
I have some
Fantastic.
alchemical fire that I will gift out in peace. It should add to your explosive talents. The fire as well, yes.
Okay, so the finale then, Flamboni Sisters, the Featherfall 5, and who else?
I think Mordana does good work. We could use her.
Oh, we'll never hear the end of it if we don't let her on. Sure.
Indeed.
All right, well, that's our lineup.
Very good. I like it.
The professor comes over to you and says, Is any of you not going to be going on tonight? I need to know who can help out with the rigging and not going to be performing. We need to get them out there. We need help.
Oh, well, we're making Aderon our pyrotechnics guy.
Excellent. Okay. So, Aderon, make sure you set up all the pyrotechnics and do whatever Hap and any of the other acts need, please.
I always do.
As for the rest, who do you have performing?
Well, we're going to open with Axel's amazing aviary to get the audience excited. Our build-up is going to be Darius and myself. We're going to do our sort of two-part adventurers act. He's already in makeup after all. The big number is going to be none other than Little Hap here, who I think is going to be fantastic. And for the finale, we have the Flamboni Sisters, the Featherfall 5, and Mordain the Magnificent, the Magician.
With that, Mordain hears that and comes over and says, Oh, you have me as the finale? I refuse. I only do the big number and no other.
Is the finale not the big number?
No. And you know that. I'm Act 3. I get the spotlight. I get the centering all to myself, or I don't go on.
Ataran looks very
Then it's settled.
sternly in her direction.
Then I suppose it's settled. So the finale will be the Flamboni Sisters, the Featherfall 5, and the Dwarven Throwers.
Oh, I don't mind doing the finale.
Well, I suppose if you don't mind, we can switch the two of you. I still think you have what
No.
it takes for the big number.
I still have a lot to learn. I'm sure Mordana's gonna be better than me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's settled. I'm going to be the big number. I'm going to get all the crowd adoration. They're going to be having the spotlight on me. I'm going to have a big announcement, right? And of course, I'm going to get everyone to come out and applaud for me as well, correct?
Do we even have spotlights?
Yes, of course we have spotlights. This isn't some dumpy circus.
Indeed, you will be singular target for Act 3.
Excellent, excellent. Well, with that, I will get ready for the big number.
Pardon my saying, but I don't think I like her very much.
Nah, her act's a little soggy anyway.
You actually know that she has an incredible ego and she's argued with Myron many times in the past. Although you're never exactly sure what they argued about. You know that they've been very frequent. But she is quite good, and a lot of people do come to see her incredible act. So there is a little bit of truth to her escape artist magician act, as she does a death-defying water torture act.
Ataran's eyes follow Mordain as she leaves, and then Ataran says, Ego disguises much fragility.
Ooh. Is everyone ready? Is everyone ready to start the show?
I think
Oh gosh,
so.
I hope
Let's
so.
start the show.
The professor walks up to Lysia and explains to her, and she nods, and she puts her snake down as she wants him to rest while he's eating his meal. And she goes out to announce the beginning of the show. And you hear the crowd, you hear the normal excitement of everyone clapping, getting ready for the show to begin. And right as they're getting ready to announce Axel, you notice he is frozen with stage fright.
What?
He just sits there and looks terrified. What do you do?
Who looks terrified?
The first act, Axel.
Is there any chance to save him? Can we go poke him or?
Sure, you can do whatever you want. Go talk to him, intimidate him, help him out.
Adaron would
whatever you want.
approach and say sternly, "You need to get out there. You will do fine. Go!" And I'd like to make an intimidate roll.
You may.
I like that. Go.
There you go.
Unfortunately, not very well.
Ataron walks up to Axel.
Hero point, hero point.
They roll a 4 for a 10. And he appears to be so frozen in fear that he just completely ignores you. Meanwhile, Elysia is kind of waiting. She's like trying to stall the crowd as she knows something's going wrong backstage. What do you do?
I'm gonna try to push Acheron out of the way, but it's kind of hard because he's so much bigger than me. So like it really takes a lot of work. And then I'm gonna be like, Axel, it's okay. You've got this. You've practiced with your birds for so long. Nobody could do a better job. And I'd like to roll diplomacy.
You may roll diplomacy.
We're rolling so low tonight.
roll a 6 for a 13.
Oof.
Now, this is going to be interesting. You fail in your diplomacy as he seems to be completely locked up. But you have one of the strangest lore skills of all. And who knew it would come in handy right now? You have lore aviary.
I do.
And Axel has birds. So I'm going to rule that you may use that in some creative way to maybe coax him out of this.
Just picture it, okay? You're not Axel here. You're a crested hawk, brave and beautiful, magnificent as all can be. And now I'd like to roll lore avian.
Here we go, the lore aviary. Who
With
knew?
my +3.
Who knew?
Big +3.
Oh, that's pretty good. You rolled a 12 for a 15.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Crested hawk.
You
Very
like
nice.
while you're talking to him, you're kind of like helping, like pulling his birds out and like showing them to him and like petting them, and you're kind of coaxing him out of his stupor. And he looks at you and just sort of shakes his head, and he goes, "Okay, Hap, for you, I'll do it, since I know how much you love my birds."
Oh, thank
And
you so much.
He walks out to perform the very first act, the opener.
Phew.
Whew.
Whew.
Nice work. Nice work.
Now you can actually roll the act. Who wants to roll the act for him? I was thinking I would do it, but I don't need to do it. It's more fun for you guys to do the rolls. So let's talk about how this works. If you are going to do the performance of an actual act, you roll basically 3 checks. It works very similar. Oh, wait, I forgot something. I forgot the thing that goes wrong. Oh, no. I gotta do
Already?
that. Oh, yeah, hold on.
That wasn't the thing that goes wrong.
No, hold on.
Oh man, the circus.
Okay, this is gonna be funny. This is gonna be very funny. Okay, anyhow, while you I'll get to that in a second. While he's going out there, you can either just, have him perform, and when he performs, he has different traits. And it could be things like a team trait or an animal trait, fire trait, agile trait, things like that. There's also some traits like injury. And with injury, if you fail your act, they can be out of the circus for up to 2 weeks. So Axel's amazing aviary has the trait animal, and he checks his nature. So his nature is a +7, and his act is see him produce birds from underneath his cloak. They fly, they sing, they deliver sweets to children in the audience. So I'll also want someone to help, explain the act and describe it, if you will. So the DC is a 15, and you get a +7 on the check. And since it's an animal check, that can sometimes things can either go good or bad with an animal check, depending on what the random thing is. I guess we're going to find out. But in the meantime, you can do the check once, twice, or 3 times. If you mess up the trick, you can send in the clowns to kind of recover. So with that, who wants to roll for Axel?
I nominate Lauren as the aviation expert.
I agree.
I have
Avian expert.
Oh God! But I have a history of rolling bad.
I want to have news for you. We all do.
That's fair. Roll 20 has a history of rolling
Roll
bad.
20 has a history of really giving it
Pro.
to you. Oh, D20 Pro. Yes, D20 Pro. Edit it out. Edit that.
So anyhow, and like anything, you can have a critical success, a failure, or critical failure. It's not that bad. A critical success, you get excitement and anticipation. A success, you get excitement. Failure, nothing happens. And a critical failure, you lose 1 excitement. And right now, you're a very small circus, so those numbers are very low. You start off with a prestige of 1, which means your circus is brand new, and that can only go up. And right now, you're going to start off with an anticipation of 15, which from gameplay point of view, you have to bring the excitement up to the anticipation. So if you succeed, you get 1 excitement. If you do a critical success, you get 1 excitement, but you also get 1 anticipation. So in a weird way, you don't want to get too many critical successes because you might not actually get up to the anticipation, but you have a maximum anticipation of 20. So to recap, you have basically the number you're looking to hit is a 15. The 15 can go up to a 20, but no more than 20. That represents like how excited and what people expect from the circus. You start off with an excitement of 0. And if you, depending on how you roll and a few other things, you can get it up higher. So
what's our starting anticipation again?
15 is your starting anticipation.
Ooh, and what's our starting prestige?
1.
Okay, thanks.
If we only have 7 tricks, then how do we hit 15 points?
We want to do multiple rolls.
You do 3. You can do 3 rolls per trick.
Just don't get a critical failure.
Pretty much. A failure won't hurt you, but a critical will.
Is it like the multiple attacks and there's a minus?
Yep. So the first trick you get a +7. For the second trick, you're going to get a +2. And then for the third trick, you get a -3. So that's how
maybe
just
if you decide to do the third one.
If you decide to do the third one. And you don't have to do the third one if you don't want to. And what you also can do is that if you mess up the second one, you can then send in the clowns and remove the badness from that one.
So as a rule of thumb, everyone should do 2 tricks, I think.
That's fine.
Especially depending on how good your modifier is. And in this case, because Ataran's doing pyrotechnics, the fire tricks that pass will get 2 excitement instead of 1. So those are even more worth doing the 2 rolls.
Yeah, I forgot about that. The non-performer rolls can give bonuses to get the excitement up, and that can be fire or animals and so forth. So,
well, also pyrotechnic is trick checks with the fire trait generate double excitement, but I think that might be generate double negative if you crit fail. So who knows?
That is correct. Yes, it goes both ways. You double
darn you multiplication.
Darn you Pathfinder 2nd edition and your high numbers.
All right, well, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. This is like scratching the surface, but this gets really cool as you continuously get cooler and cooler tricks. And it really gets like nice and complex. So right now, birds are flying out, and it'll be Lauren's job to describe it.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this a little bit. I'm ready to describe Axel. So he comes out. He does a quick little like few taps of his feet to the ground, almost as if he's tap dancing. And then he moves into a almost singing in the rain style dance, back and forth, left to right. And when he goes left again, he throws his cape open, and a handful of birds come out, and they perch amongst the audience and start singing a popular song in Absalon. And then when he swings back to the right, a few more birds come out and join in with the same song. Eventually, hopefully, the audience will sing along with them, and everyone will enjoy this popular tune. And then he calls them all back. They all fly back into his jacket, They pick up pieces of candy from inside, and then all of his birds fly out and hand candy to the children. How's that?
I like that.
Okay.
Beautiful. Provided it goes well.
Yes. Oh, and now I have to roll it, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh, great.
If you critical fail on the candy handing out, they peck out the children's eyes.
Yeah. All right, so for the singing birds, let me put in my modifier here.
So you get a +7. and you're
Yep,
looking
here we-
for 15.
Here we go.
Oh, 1.
Ooh, hero point?
No, you rolled a 1. Oh my god, you rolled a D20.
Wait, Steven. Oh, no.
No, I
Hero
rolled a 1
point. Hero
too.
point.
Hero
maybe-
point it.
Maybe hero
Wait,
point that
wait.
one?
Can we
I
use
don't
a hero point when we're rolling for somebody else?
I don't think we can.
No, you can't.
Clowns.
Clowns.
Clown it immediately.
So, Hap, although he thought he could handle it, he obviously can't. He obviously is terrible. Let's see. Well, here's the funny thing. Okay, your circus's excitement value decreases. So your circus excitement is 0. So guess what? It's still 0. I'm going to say nothing happens, that they're all just like, huh? So you don't even need to send in the clowns. It's critical failure. You can try again.
The birds, the two different teams of birds are singing the wrong song, and everybody's just confused. All right, so he calls them all back to send the children candy. Let's see what he can do with his +2. Oh, so close. I got a 14.
14. Well, it's a failure, so no real effect. They're kind of like dropping the candy in the crowd instead of like delivering it to the children. So
Well,
the
that's still good.
It's still good, but unfortunately, the kids are now all fighting for the candy, and the adults don't look very happy about that.
The Hunger Games.
Oh, gosh.
So you can try the last one, trick at -3.
I don't want to do a trick at -3.
Yeah, you can.
On an 8 on the die or lower is a critical failure, so I don't want to do that one.
Yeah, and the send in the clowns only brings it up to a failure. So I presume either you're gonna send in the clowns or just just do
Or
nothing.
eat it.
Yeah,
They'll
or
just
do
eat
nothing.
it.
Okay. He just sort of like sort of brings the birds back and sort of hurries back out into the backstage.
Darius, is this the part where I'm not supposed to say "we told you so"? Or, I mean, he really wasn't ready.
Not yet. No, he felt ready. I mean, you've got to start somewhere.
He looks over to you and says, I promise you, it wasn't my fault. It really wasn't. There's something wrong with my birds.
I'm going to give him a big hug.
Tend to your birds. And
You hush. You did great, Axel. I was really proud of you.
No, really. And he takes the hug and he's like, no, look. And the birds, they do look like lethargic and look like they're just like, I don't know, something's wrong with them.
Can I roll nature on him?
Yes.
I will do so.
22. Good job. You're not sure, but it looks like that they are lethargic. It looks like they're sick or they ate something wrong, and they definitely look like they're just not paying attention. And then with that, Alicia comes over to you and says, something is wrong with my snake. He looks very lethargic. Look, he's not eating his food.
oh my, we've been sabotaged. First, the ringmaster and the animals.
Yeah, these animals are sick. I think they ate something they weren't supposed to.
Oh no, not Mr. Tickles. I love Mr. Tickles. Please help him. Please help Mr. Tickles.
I'll take care of him, but likely he's just gonna need some rest and maybe a nice rock in the sun to lay on.
Or some sort of medicine.
Oh, Hap, can you look at Mr. Tickles and see if you could figure out what happened to him? He looks lethargic and he won't eat or drink.
Okay.
Eliza, you go back out there. I'll take care of it.
She'll look after him.
Okay, I'll go back out there. Who's next on the act?
Darius and I. So go ahead and announce. It's the adventure and the the adventure and the treasure routine.
Oh, okay. The adventurer and the treasure. I know you're acting.
No.
The troll and
The troll?
yeah, the troll and the adventurer.
The troll and the treasure. Got it.
Close
Fine.
enough.
Troll and treasure. I like it's tease.
Okay. And then she's like, "Oh, be careful with my snake, Mr. Tickles." And she like gives him a little kiss and then walks out.
I am gonna care for Mr. Tickles.
Okay. So she goes out to announce the act. In the meantime, you can do a medicine check or nature check to figure out what's wrong with Mr. Tickles.
I am going to use nature.
Okay. Do that nature check. Oh, look at that, a 20.
Yeah, I love animals.
Wonderful.
You love your animals. You take a look at Mr. Tickles, and you realize that Mr. Tickles has a malady known as goblin pox. It's not lethal, and Mr. Tickles in no danger, and he will recover in a few days.
Okay, that's good. I'm just gonna make sure he's comfortable, and I'm gonna tell him and say, "You're a pretty snake." Yes, you are. You're a pretty snake.
Mr. Tickles is the anaconda is just sticking his tongue out and doing what he does, sort of giving you little kisses on the face with his tongue.
This makes me so happy.
He likes Hap. All the animals like Hap. Meanwhile, while Elysia is announcing the acts, suddenly, it seems to keep happening, that word suddenly.
Oh my gosh. What is it? Just tell us.
She announces the act, and then all of a sudden, all the animals that you have in the circus start breaking loose and rampaging through the tent.
What?
Wait, what?
Yes, they just start rampaging, and everyone has to quickly run out and gather them up.
Can we make this an act? Can we make it so it looks like it's part of the show?
Sure, you actually can do that. You can try to bring the animals breaking loose as part of the act. Break loose. We could just describe it, that they are all over the place and everyone's sort of running out and doing their best to make it look like, aha, ta-da, I am capturing this elephant before he tramples the children in a fun manner. And, oh, look at this lion. He's not going to eat you, ma'am. Don't worry. I have this totally under control.
If we use the clowns, then this is a hilarious predicament.
Yeah, you will not be able to use the clowns for this one. However, let's roll to see what the results are, shall we? You get, believe it or not, through this, you get 4 excitement because everyone was excited
Wonderful.
for the animal breakout, and 4 more anticipation because they think, wow,
no.
this is some show you got here.
Oh no. It's a net 0.
So your excitement is up to 4 and your anticipation is up to 19.
We can't do this. I'm getting so nervous.
Okay, the animals are back under control, and you seem to have them backstage, but you realize that the animals are not going to be usable in any more acts. Elysia probably can go on without Mr. Tickles. She's done it before. She has other types of things, but you can decide that later. In the meantime, do the various brother and sister wish to go?
Yes,
Absolutely.
we wish to go.
Okay. You two may go out and perform your acts.
The music turns dramatic, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You describe the act. I don't know what your acts are. You tell me.
I think the way it starts out is it's like a dark, almost like cave looking scene with, drawn stalagmites and such. And I, as this troll, have a big giant cartoon bone, which is, used in the act, and I'm carrying it around, and I gently pet this like treasure chest, and it's in the corner of my lair, and I'm looking at it and tending to it, and like kind of maybe eating some fake meat off of the bone when Alhara sneaks in to the cave.
So just who's going to go first? Darius, are you going to go first?
Gonna go first, and Alhara is gonna assist with the second action.
Like
Got it.
he hears her step on a a bone or flick a rock, and he gets up, roar, roar, and like he starts roaring, roar, and he runs toward where the noise was, but Alhara does a flip, and Darius, as the troll, like smashes down on the area where she was, but that causes kind of like a shake. So Alhara's gonna tumble. So I will do my like thing to kind of like launches her as she's hiding, like behind something.
Okay.
So I'll do this trick. I mean, or I go and I break the stalactite, which is actually a big log. I mean, his quote unquote signature is like shattering something, right? Very solid because he's very strong. So I could do that. I can shatter a big wooden stalactite here in this cave.
Sure. And you, Darius, is dressed up kind of like a troll, nearly 7 feet tall, and you are
I'm nearly 7 feet tall, green
on top of
skin.
muscles, on top of muscles. Yes.
Right. And then a
enormous
wig and big fangs, and I'm roaring. And he will make an attack roll, right, or an athletics check, which I think it was one of those two.
I think we were doing athletics for yours and acrobatics for mine. And so when I assist you, which I'll assist you on the second action, because that's the one you take the penalty to, I also use athletics.
Okay.
So athletics, and what do you get for your athletics?
I have a +7.
Okay. Let's see the result. Look at that. A 24.
Wonderful.
You
Nice.
just missed a crit. So,
Darn.
I know, by 1. Congratulations. The crowd seems to be enthralled by your performance, and you get 1 excitement. Dun, dun, dun. Do you wish to continue?
Yes, and now, after a couple of more dramatic almost finds Alhara, she gets to the treasure chest, and it's small, like it's a small chest, and she grabs it, and he hears her and sees her. Now it's on. He's trying to smash her.
Yeah. So now it's a lot of jumping around and avoiding getting smashed and objects breaking.
So I will make an athletics check, and you will assist with my athletics check. Is that right?
I will assist with my own athletics check. Mm-hmm. So there's my assist. I got a total of 20.
That does it. +1.
So, right. So the co-star gets a +1. So now you get a +3 to athletics. Look at that, a 22. It works, and you generate another point of excitement as the crowd is thrilled to watch this exciting adventure continue. You have 1 more action. You can, it's up to you what you want to do. You can go for it or just call it a day.
The chance to critically fail is greater than the chance to succeed.
Yeah.
That's just math.
Ataran would be watching very closely from the curtain, making careful watch of things happening, as well as at the edge of the tent.
I think that's it. Unless Alhara can do her own acrobatics check without another negative.
Athletics, no. So now we would move up to trick number 3, which is the second part of the Act 2 buildup. All right, so she's got the chest and she's running around. And at this point, she keeps doing flips and things to move out of the way of Darius as he takes his big old troll arms and tries to grab her. And she keeps flipping around using nothing but her powerful leg muscles to send her sailing over Darius over and over. So I'm going to do acrobatics. I roll a 10 for 17.
Get some.
17. So 17 is a success. So once again, excitement +1. So let's see, what's your excitement up to? 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
7.
7 so far. Pretty good.
You need 12 more to catch up.
That's right.
I don't think we can do it.
I think we can. It'll be all in the finale, but we can do it.
There's going to
Alright.
be fire.
We don't have 6 more acts. We literally can't do it.
There's more things that could happen. Let's leave it at that.
Ooh, okay.
Well, and we have another action here too. So as she flips around, avoiding getting caught, she's going to make a break toward what they've determined is the exit, so she can escape with this treasure.
Yes.
And she's going to make an acrobatics check to basically do a bit of a floor routine to tumble all the way over there. Meanwhile,
As
Darius,
the troll like gets caught or something, right? Like I
Well,
Can't
you're
catch
going
up.
to try to go over too, but I think yours is essentially like a pratfall, still using
Yes.
acrobatics, but in order to, land safely.
So I roll acrobatics?
Yep. So since you're aiding, you'll roll first.
Yes, hold on. Oh,
Wow.
Roll a 15 for an 18.
+1.
All right.
Contemplating the dice are bad. I think they're just bad for you.
I
Yeah,
thought
maybe.
you needed a 20 to successfully aid.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
is it a
Wah,
20
wah,
or,
wah.
or a 15? I forgot.
I'm pretty sure it's a 20.
hope
It's
it's a
really
10.
hard in this edition.
Attempt for co-star. The performer is willing to accept your aid. You help another performer perform in the act to pull off their trick, possibly granting them a bonus to the triggering trick check. Attempt the same check as the trick check you are attempting to aid. The DC of the co-star is equal to the DC of the
15.
trick check.
Hell yeah, I thought y'all were using the aid rules. That's way better.
It uses the aid rules, but the DC is based on the trick.
Yeah, it otherwise acts as the aid action. So,
So you successfully aid Alara.
all right, and now I'm going to make my acrobatics. This time with only -4 total, +3.
+3.
I roll pretty
20.
darn well, 20 total.
Oh,
That's
Wonderful.
Another point of excitement. They love this act. This act is gangbusters.
You guys are killing it. I'm so
You
proud
are
of you.
killing it. You are.
I'm so happy.
Well, you got one more chance, but up to you. Take the treasure and run, or
Take
try
the
to-
treasure and run.
take the treasure and run. No more. No one to roll in -3.
Nope. With him falling down, Alhara's going to lift the treasure chest above her head, sort of give a little wink and a jump as she flips one foot up behind her and heads out of the spotlight.
I'm
Oh,
waiting. I'm waiting behind the curtain.
and you open it, and it's a little doll.
Oh, that's cute.
It's a troll, a little miniature version, like a little dolly.
Actually, that's hilarious. So yeah, she opens it and it's a little dolly and she looks like, what? Ah, this is terrible. And she throws it to some little girl in the audience.
Ah, very good.
Oh, that's great. When you guys come behind the curtain for backstage, I'm waiting for you, and I give you all these big hugs. Oh my god, that was so good. I'm so proud of you guys.
Ataran nods once.
Wow, that's a high praise from them.
It is.
She practically shouted for joy.
All right. So far, so good.
Now the big number.
The big number. Mordana, the magician. She's like, oh, I'm ready. Everybody help push out myself in the tank. Thank you so much for warming them up. They seem ready to appreciate me.
Mm-hmm.
You two were cute. I like your makeup. Maybe I'll talk to you after the show, Darius. Wink.
Oh, we can talk after the show. Wink.
Oh boy.
Ataran frowns.
Atron always frowns.
Gonna be more little half elves running around here soon.
Quarter elves.
So with that, she has this, let's explain her act. Ordain the magician. Acts of illusion performed with skill, not magic. See Mordain escape from shackles, locks, and a water-filled tank. She gets a fortitude save of +6, thievery of +7. She needs to save in case she fails and starts drowning. Which
The poster says +8 for the fortitude save.
Fortitude save, yeah.
Oh, +8. It's really tiny. It's hard for me to see. Okay, +8. So basically, it's just again, it's a water trick, thievery +7. She has a DC of 15. Who wants to roll for her?
We don't
Ataran.
like her. Why don't you roll for her?
No, Ataran, you should do it. You haven't done
Oh,
that
that's
yet.
fair.
Sure, I can roll for Mordain.
So describe this middling woman's act.
Can I roll first and then describe the act based on my roll?
Sure.
All right, we'll do the fortitude save.
Oh, do you do fortitude? I think you do feet. I don't know, which one do you do? Thievery or
You can do either.
for water?
I think it's thievery first, and then fortitude if you fail.
Yeah, I thought so too. Let me check.
If you choose to do a saving throw as your act skill, then it immediately gets the injury trait and you might harm yourself. So like she's
Right.
got fortitude save, which is better than her thievery, but she also might harm herself by essentially drawing it out and running out of breath.
Yep, you're correct. So right, if you use injury, it's a little easier to perform, but on failure, she can become injured. So
That's tough.
it's only when they critically fail. When they critically fail the check,
Yeah.
then they can get injured. So it's not the end of the world. So
I think she
You
has
could
a
have-
bit of ego, so she might be pushing it a little. So I'm going to go with the fortitude.
okay, it's up to you. So if you're going to do the fort save is plus 8. So 19. She succeeds. Another point in excitement. Want to describe it?
Yeah. So after the tank is rolled out and she's in a wispy, somewhat diaphanous white garment, she stands atop the tank, points her toes, holds up her hands, takes a deep breath, exhales with control to her diaphragm and her chest as she is locked up into the chains, her arms behind her, but her legs somewhat flowing, and she drops into the tank. She slowly spins about, almost dancing through the water, and she looks a little scared, although we who have seen this many times before know this is part of the act, as she slowly contorts and moves her body and brings her arms around her legs and then twists and pulls her hands out of the chains, and then she raises up out of the tank to applause.
First action. Is she going to do another one? She can roll again for the second part of her trick at a +3.
What do you guys think? Should I
Oh,
try again?
absolutely. Yeah.
If you
Mhm.
use the +3, then she runs the risk of getting injured. If you use her thievery for the +2, then she doesn't run the risk of getting injured.
That is correct.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's do that.
Which is that. There was 2 items. Thievery,
Yep,
Yeah.
gonna do the thievery.
21.
Woohoo!
Success.
Now their excitement. What does she do
This
with
time-
thievery?
Yeah, she beckons for assistance, and a few of the other members of the circus come out and double wrap her arms and legs in chains. And this time, as she takes a deep breath, she somersaults backwards and starts to contort while also bringing her hair that's a little long up in front of her. And she actually has some picks hidden in her hair that she uses her teeth to draw out and slowly undoes the locks, but make sure that she hides it in her hair again before dropping the chains and jumping out of the tank to the top with a splash of water out amongst the crowd.
Crowd loves it. You guys are up to 11 excitement. Of course, you have a 19 anticipation, but keep it up. You can go one more time. It's up to you.
I think we have a 10. We should have a 10 excitement right now.
No,
Yeah.
let's just take the 11.
Hey, I got a spreadsheet. It's calculating everything.
Oh, 10. You know why? I was going to recount it anyhow at the end, Lauren, so don't get
You can just look
excited.
on my sheet with me if you want it.
True, but I have a lot of notes on mine.
I'm watching.
I have a lot of notes on mine.
Okay.
What do you wish to do for the last and final action? You can try the trick again, or you can just have her take a big bow and
Oh, she enjoys the applause of the crowd, and she splashes about with her feet in the water, pointing her hands up, smiling, bowing, and smiling prettily for all to see so she can soak up all the adoration before dropping down and beckoning for others to bring her tank back behind the curtain.
so she's not going to do a third action and risk
Nope.
it. Okay. While this is going on at the same time, because I don't want to interrupt the act, the professor comes up to you and says, "There's something going on in the crowd over there. Can you please check it out?"
Which you is he talking to?
Whoever wishes, the 3 or 4 of you, or 2 of you, or 1 of you, up to you.
I'm about to go on, so do I
Alhara.
have time?
We're done. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, you and me. We got this.
We'll check it out. My makeup is mostly off, like my wig and all that stuff, you know.
Cool. So in the stands, kind of close to the backstage, like at the bottom of the stands, he said, "There's something going on over there, and the crowd seems to be agitated." He says, "If you can just sort of help out and look over there."
All right. So if we're looking at the circus from a bird's eye view, it'd be like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I think it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's exactly, you're right there.
Okay, about 3 or 4 o'clock. All right,
3 to 4.
let's go over there.
Yeah, so the circus, by the way, is filled. The stands have people in them. I obviously didn't fill it because the program would probably go a little slow if I had
Right.
500 NPCs. So all those stands are filled. So for intents and purposes, you are walking to the crowd. Now, of course,
Well, of course we're intense.
but there's people like, you just walking up to the crowd. None of this seems weird. They're like used to it. You guys are, performers, and people are walking all over the place. There's acrobats and clowns and performers and riggers and such. So they're not too startled by you walking up to the stands right now.
Okay, what do we see?
You walk up to them, and the crowd seems to be scattered in that area, and they say, there's something underneath. There's something underneath. And they're like pointing underneath the bleachers.
I look with my low light vision as a half elf.
Ooh, I got that too.
You sure do.
You look underneath the bleachers and you see 3 vipers that have basically taken residence underneath the bleachers. They don't seem to be doing anything aggressive, but they definitely sort of look at you as if, they don't want you to come any closer to them. They're sort of staking out this claim. And obviously no one wants to sit, underneath some vipers. So,
Yikes. I have a long spear backstage. Keep an eye on them. I'll go get it. Do you need
Get
your
my staff, yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll get our reach weapons.
Please do. Meanwhile, Alhara is gonna stick. Actually, you watch them. I'll go get our stuff. I'm faster.
Yes, please do.
Are you guys gonna kill those animals?
We're going to say yes.
Those innocent animals? Why don't you catch them and take them outside?
You're going on stage, Missy.
she can do it. This is going on at the same time while
Mordain.
Mordain is going on, so it's totally up to you. This is going on simultaneously, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Ataran would be watching from that corner of the curtain, backstage, as it were, and seeing Alhara coming back, might gesture just briefly with a shoulder from them to get Hap's attention.
Okay. Alhara will sort of tap Hap on the shoulder and be like, if you have a minute, there's some snakes underneath the bleachers. We gotta get them out of the tent.
Snakes? Oh crap! Holy cannoli! Let me think. Okay, I have an idea. I'll be right there. I'm gonna go over to Alicia's things. I'm gonna take one of her mice that she saves from Mr. Tickles, and I'm gonna run back to join Alahara and Darius. Okay.
Yeah, there's more than a couple, by the way. There's a whole cage of white mice, by the way. It's not just
Okay.
2.
I'll grab 3 of them then.
3 blind mice. See how they run?
Yes. All right, and then I'll run with them over there. All right, guys. Where are they?
I wave
What
you
point?
over. I've been watching them. Look, they're vipers. They're poisonous.
Oh, but they're so cute.
Very cute. And if they bite you, you're dead.
Oh, they're not gonna bite anyone. They're just scared. All right, look here, you guys. Look what I got. I got some little white mice for you. Why don't you follow me outside? And then I'm gonna kind of hold the mice, and I'm gonna back up to the wall of the tent and try to lead them outside with the mice.
Which check do you want to use for that?
Can Alhara and I kind of support behind them? So in case one of them runs, we kind of whack it back into place
Sure.
with our staves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think unless you can think of another check, I think I'm gonna have to use nature.
That is correct. You can use nature, but you don't have like wild empathy or anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That would have worked a lot better because my
Yeah, 'cause-
diplomacy's better.
Or
Yeah,
a sleep
you can,
spell.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any spells that would be good here. And I'm not going to Burning Hands these poor things. So I'm going to roll nature.
Do that one.
Nope. Here we go. Okay. So listen. So I want you to understand something.
Uh-huh.
These
I understand a lot of things.
You rolled a
these
1.
animals.
With a roll to 1.
These animals are more important to me than my act. I don't want to kill these things. I will hero point this nature roll because
Right,
these
all
animals
right.
have to survive.
Go right ahead.
Yes, the future of the AP depends on these 3 vipers surviving.
They are innocent lives, and they do not deserve to die just because you brutes don't know how to handle some snakes.
How about those mice?
God damn it.
A 4.
I roll so bad all the time.
You
It's
really do. It's kind of unbelievable. All right, well, there goes the hero point. But I will tell you something. I will say everyone has 2 hero points after the ability of helping out with the circus and getting up to the big number. So I'll say you have 1 more. Although, are you allowed? I guess you can. I mean, that's never come up if you can use the hero point.
We've done
yet
it before,
again.
I think, where we've blown them both.
I think you have. So you can do 1 more Hap, and everyone has 2, by the way.
Are
And Hap
these
has 1.
vipers worth 2 hero points?
Hap knows that these vipers are poisonous and actually kind of nasty.
all right. Give me that quarterstaff, or give me your bow staff.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the snake handler thing, where you try to loop them on the stick and then take them outside. Oh, or better yet, I'll just tell Alahara, hey, just loop them on the stick, and we can take them outside. And maybe she can use an attack roll.
Oh, you want her to help you?
She has a better attack roll than I do.
No, she has it's her nature. She has a +7 to nature.
Oh, what? You have a +7 to nature?
No.
You said, I'm looking at sorry, not Alahara. I'm looking at Elysia. Sorry. Elysia has a +7 to nature, the snake girl.
But she's busy, isn't she?
She's busy, yeah. She's
Yeah.
running the show. So, sorry, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, can I use my +6 attack roll with the staff to sort of just loop the snake or multiple snakes onto it and carry them outside and fling them off?
You may.
Yeah.
Can I aid her with my
Yes, but you can also fail. Be careful.
well, I just roll a attack roll, right? To aid.
Yeah.
You need a 20 because this isn't the co-star aid.
It's a 20.
Yeah, typical aid is a DC of 20 unless the GM decides to do a different DC.
Oh, I didn't adjust it. I forgot to change. But yeah, that should be a 12 plus my 6 is 18.
18.
Oh, 18. Okay.
18. What else is anyone else doing?
I'm just standing at the ready.
I'm biting my fingernails.
So you're not going to roll. You're not using your second hero point for another nature.
It was somewhat foolish, but in character to use my first hero point, it would be extra foolish to use my second.
Okay. It seems to be working, although they seem to be snapping at some of the guests. So it looks like someone needs to help out and get the guests out of the way and move them so that they don't get bitten by one of these vipers. As
I can do that.
That's
okay.
me too.
Okay.
Sir, I'm going to need you to back up, please.
Diplomacy.
Sure.
Hey, I've got that.
Too bad you don't roll worth anything.
It's true. Watch, another nat 1 coming up.
The 2. Close enough.
I'm so bad
Oh
at
my
dice
gosh.
games.
Wow.
12. Oh, not much better.
Not much better.
How about this? Sir, I said move, and I'll bring a little bit of fire out and use intimidation.
Okay. You're just trying to milk it for everything you got.
This is important to me.
Atron is watching closely.
18, finally, at 25. Like, you guys are trying to be diplomatic and be really nice. And Hap, being, a 15-year-old girl with, like, Morrissey makeup on, they're all, like, kind of not paying attention to her. But then she brings up the fire, and she's like, get out of the way. And they're like, ah! And they all, like, sort of move out of the way as the snakes. And the snakes, you're able to sort of juggle them and shoo them out. Because all they really want is just they just wanted somewhere warm to sleep. So you can just shoo them out of the tent if you wish.
Say yes, you wish.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, give me another nature check, Hap, to help out shooing them out of the tent.
Oh God, here we go again.
5.
I'm so bad at dice games.
So, all right. It's not pretty, and you seem to sort of distract a little from the big number while this occurs, but it gets the job done. You're able to get the vipers outside without causing too much trouble. But he didn't do it in such a way that would have maybe, made it fun or exciting for the crowd. If anything, they're annoyed by the interruption of the big act while you, got the snakes out from under them. So it doesn't help, but it doesn't hurt either. If you did this really well, they could have been, hey, look, another act. Oh, we're pulling snakes out of the crowd. Dun, 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 dun. And it could have helped with the excitement level. Pretty much anything you do, and this is something to keep in mind, can help with excitement because they don't know. It's all part of the show. So you could have a fight, and that can be part of it. You can literally get excitement for that. You can help out with snakes and get excitement for that. But
not when you roll like this.
But in failure, it either does nothing or it could actually bring you down and give you negative excitement. But no one died, so no negative excitement. So you didn't lose anything, you didn't gain anything either. And now there's 3 less poisonous snakes in the crowd. So good job.
My only good roll was intimidation, but that's what I use for my act. So if I can keep rolling good intimidation, then I'm gravy.
For now.
I have concerns.
As you come back behind the curtain, Ataran would ask, did these snakes behave normally?
They
Looks
were-
like it.
Yeah, they look like they were totally normal. They were just...
But the fact that they were there maybe is the problem.
They were just looking for somewhere warm to sleep. We all want that, don't we?
Do vipers usually live in this area?
You actually are camped right near the woods and a creek. So yeah, definitely could.
Okay.
You're actually you're like right near the woods. So you definitely could have wild animals that could have snuck in at night. Usually you check these things and before the show goes on, they're always like looking to make sure no like loose, creatures like snuck in here and did exactly that. But they were small and they were cozy, and it looks like they were literally just kind of sleeping and hanging out under the bleachers. They weren't attacking anyone. They were just sort of there.
I'll have you know that vipers are so ubiquitous in Galarian that every country on the planet has at least one species of viper in it.
Ataran nods. Very well.
That's some real world lore.
What are you, like a biologist or something?
I know, right?
Haps Learning Corner. Today on Haps Learning Corner, vipers and how they affect Galarian.
Yep.
Next week, we're going to talk about birds.
I like how my avian lore is worse than my nature.
Yeah. I like how you actually got to use your avian lore like right away, which was unbelievable.
That was nice. I liked it.
I liked it too. Okay. So
On with the show?
On with the show. You managed to get the vipers out. Good job. No one died. No one got poisoned and could have been atrocious. And who knows what would have happened. You're getting ready for Act 4, the finale. Who do you plan to go on for that?
So we have the Flamboni Sisters in the left ring. We have
Hap in the center.
the Featherfall 5 on the right, and I'll take the center because fire would look out of place if it wasn't in the center.
Also, then you've got 2 acrobatic type routines on either side of the arena, and then a big gouts of fire in the center.
Balanced, as all things should be.
Okay, excellent. The Kambali family hears this and starts getting ready, starts putting together their nets. And if you've ever seen a Big Apple circus, the way this works is that everything is like brought out and set up like on the fly. So like the nets are put up, the high wires put up, like within just like 5 minutes or so, and then it's taken right down. So people like zip in and zip out all the time. So they're getting ready, and who is it? Oh, the Flamboni Sisters. And the Flamboni Sisters, they of course are getting ready with their juggling fire team act. So while you're getting ready, the Featherfall 5 start having whispers and start talking to each other, and you see them getting very animated. Something appears to be wrong.
Ooh.
I'd
let's
walk
go
close
investigate.
by.
Let's go over to them.
They look up at you, and the Featherfall 5, they look at you and say, Look at this! Our nets, they've been sabotaged! There's holes in them! What should we do?
Do we have any reserve nets?
We don't have time for that. These are our nets. We don't have any reserve.
I would try to see if I could quickly mend them, tie them up that they would be satisfactory and safe. Ataran wouldn't even say anything, just immediately goes to work.
Oh yeah, you have crafting.
Okay,
Can I make a craft check?
You may do a craft check.
Don't worry, guys. I have a backup plan if this doesn't work.
Oh, that's good.
Ataran rolls a 12.
Womp womp.
They look at the net and realizes that the holes are significant, and throughout the nets in various locations, there's definitely not enough time to repair it now. They obviously could be repaired, but there's holes everywhere. So these nets cannot be used. So it looks like the only options are either you somehow convince them to perform without a net, or convince them of what's going on, and yeah, it's up to you.
I got this. I'm gonna run over to dwarf throwers. Are you guys ready to go on in the right ring?
They look at you, and of course, in their standard dwarvenese, since they've hit their heads so many times, they're kind of hard to understand. They go, "You ready to go? Yes, we're ready to go. Yeah, we'll go."
Oh, that's so good. I knew I could count on you guys. And I'll turn around to Darius and Alhar and Adran, and I'll give them a thumbs up.
All right.
They're like, "Oh yes, we're gonna go. Let's go!" And they start like banging their heads, headbutting each other, and they're like all ready to go. Meanwhile, though, the Featherfall 5, they still want to know what's going on. They're like, "What happened to my nets? Look at this! Look at this! Well, sabotage! I tell you, sabotage!"
It's been going around all night. It's very possible.
We'll repair them, and you can definitely perform in the next show, I guess. I guess.
Yeah, we have to. You can't do it without a net unless it generates more excitement, and you're willing.
Of course it generates more excitement. Who would want to see us perform without nets? And they all nod their heads. He goes, "But it's very dangerous. Dangerous, I tell you. And look, sabotage. When maybe our ropes are cut. Maybe we fall to our deaths."
It's true. It's up to you if you wish to perform.
Well, I think Hap already promised the dwarven throwers.
Yeah, then that's the safest maneuver. Let the dwarves go.
We can't have our friends getting hurt.
That's true.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. If you perform, each additional success will give you 2 more excitement. So 3 excitement per success if they perform without a net.
Oh.
I mean...
Okay. So, are you willing to perform without a net? I think there's some heal potions around just in case anything bad happens.
I can take care of you.
I can't believe you guys are considering this. They could get killed.
Hey, this is showbiz.
Pain is a reminder of life.
Death is not a reminder of life.
Ataran, give me a nature or perception check while you're looking at the nets, please.
Perception it is.
Ataran rocks it with a 22. Ataran knows for a fact that this has been chewed through by rats, that it has not been sabotaged by at least any humanoid.
I do not think these holes are from humanoid activity. I see rat chewing bite marks. I think it is likely some, we have continued animal problems.
They look at each other like, "Oh, we feel much better." They sort of like nodding their heads. It's like, but healing potions, you say? That's not bad. That's not bad. And meanwhile, there's like, "But we have to decide now. What do you think?" And they look at each other, and there's 5 of them, and they have to vote. Someone could do a diplomacy to help sway them or put in a big
Ataran
word.
would nod and say, "Not only do I have healing potions for you, but I will be able to soothe your wounds if you need."
Same.
I am encouraging you. You should be brave, and you will be rewarded for it. Risks of pain will remind you of your life.
I refuse to participate in this.
Well, you're not participating in this. Just your own act. Just focus on your own stuff.
No, I mean, I'm not going to, sway their vote in any way.
So someone has to do a diplomacy to see if you can convince them.
I would like to.
Okay, just roll. Yep, just diplomacy. 21.
Hey.
Ataran looks at them, shows them the potions. They know that you have your mysterious ways and have been able to heal people in the past. They look at each other and they all nod in agreement. They say, "Okay, we go on. But you must watch us and be on the ready in case something goes wrong.
Considering all the dangers, I have been watching very closely this entire time.
You say, all right, let us go. And the Featherfall 5 all go. And they will perform. So, with that, who is performing first? We have... Oh, and then someone has to tell the dwarves that they're not going on. Although you think they'll be fine with it because they're kind of crazy.
I'll tell the dwarves, hey guys, thank you so much for being incredible. But it looks like the Featherfall 5 are actually going to be able to do their act anyway. So that means you have more time for drinking.
Oh, yes, it was a good idea. Oh, yes, drinking. It's like, oh, good luck, everyone. Good luck.
Oh,
They all just sort of go off and back to the cabins.
All right. So for the finale, do they go one at a time or do we all go concurrently?
It goes concurrently, but from a metagame point of view, you go one at a time because you can only send in the clowns once. And this is where it gets fascinating because you have Trick 5, Trick 6, and Trick 7. So if you mess up, you can send in the clowns, for another trick. So because you have 3 going on at once.
Can we do everyone's first action and then everyone's second and then everyone's final action if we want?
I don't know. This turns into one of those we haven't done this before, and I have to think about that. In theory, you're not supposed to.
Let's just do one ring at a time. It'd be easier.
Well, let me
Okay.
just think about it. Let me think about it for a second. I didn't think of it like that. I just want to see how
Yeah.
it works.
I feel like as far as time-wise, you would see everyone doing their first action before you'd see everyone doing their second action. But
And it helps you figure out for that third action, do you want to risk it?
Here we go. Send in the clowns. You or another performer has failed or critically failed during the current act. So it's throughout the entire act. So you give the signal for the circus clown troupe to come on stage and rescue a botched trick. The failed trick becomes a success instead, or if it was a critical failure instead, blah, blah, blah. You can only send in once per act. And only once one trick check is affected. I'll say you actually go on one at a time and not, although it's 3 rings, it's like one right after another in the 3 rings. So you don't go simultaneously just because I can imagine it's causing trouble later on in the adventure. So I'll say that you do go one trek at a time. So
How about the 5 Featherfall people, then the Flamboni Sisters, and then I go. So we're kind of reducing
Yeah.
numbers as we go and increasing fire as we go. A nice grade
love
in
it. I
both
like it.
ways.
I love it.
Great.
All right, sounds good.
okay, so the Featherfall 5, they have agile and team, and they gain the injury component to their trick automatically, but they also get a +2 to excitement if they succeed. So everything they do will automatically have injury because they're going without a net.
And we can't hero point for them.
You cannot hero point for them because they're an NPC.
Does anything I provide from healing potions or with magical healing help with this in any way?
Well, they have a +8 already. If you want, I can say that you can quote co-star once, but you're going to have to do the same thing they do with his acrobatics or athletics. Don't forget.
Ooh, can I co-star?
You already did it. It's only,
Oh.
I believe, one.
I mean, it was a
co-star.
different act, but okay.
You're too tired.
Okay.
I believe you're
Yeah.
not allowed. Well, it says in here, I don't know. Another performer in the same act as you is about to. No, because you're not in the act.
Yeah, because I'm not.
Yeah.
named. Okay.
Yeah. I knew there was a reason. I was trying to remember why. You can't do it because you're not part of the act.
I see. Perform the following action and reaction during their turn in the ring and must be performing in an
Right.
act to do so. Okay, got it.
Exact. So yeah, actually even Ataran can't do it now.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
reading that.
that's fine.
So you are there for moral support, but they get a +8 if they're using acrobatics, and that's pretty darn good.
That's
So,
pretty good.
That is huge.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Let me look up acrobatics, and they're agile, so they get only a -4 each time. So that's pretty damn good.
They're our best performers.
Ataran takes out a candle and lights it and whispers over it as they perform.
Who wants to go first? Again, there's 5 of them. They set up the tightrope, and let's see.
We make sure to announce There is no net.
There is no net, and the crowd seems on the edge of their seat, and you hear the drums going like little drum rolls, and she goes out and announces, Elysia, welcome the Featherfall 5, the Kanbali family balances on tightropes with bounces, flips, and aerial feats to delight, and tonight only they're going to perform without a net. And everyone's like, whoa.
I nominate Vanessa to roll.
Okay.
You don't want me to roll it?
Nope.
No, certainly not.
With all due affection.
I want her to roll it.
No.
All right. So the Featherfall 5, the whole Kenbali family, get out there, and their first bit is a lot of tightrope stuff where they're fake fencing with each other, just using their balancing sticks, their quarterstaffs, and they're sort of fake fighting on these ropes, and they end up doing things where they're flipping over each other and landing back on the tightrope and things like that. So it's a lot of jumping around and moving back and forth with two of the members of the family.
+8. Oh, 27.
That's a crit, right?
We didn't want crits.
Woo!
Why? That's doubles.
You generate
Oh,
excitement
is it double?
equal to the trick's level. The excitement is added to the circus's total. You also generate anticipation equal to half of the trick's level rounded up. So,
Oh.
Yeah,
You
we don't want
get-
the anticipation.
you get +3 to the excitement and +1 to the anticipation. You did such a good job. The anticipation is now 20. Now, good news. The anticipation is capped at 20. It cannot go above that.
Okay,
And
good.
you have 13 excitement. So far, so good.
We can do it.
Action 2, acrobatic +4 because it's they're agile.
All right. So they increase the act with the other three performers as they start to go in and sort of assist with this mock battle. And one of the five, so the matron of the family, is trying to stand in the middle and keep them from bickering and fighting. And they keep switching places now by dropping down and swinging on the rope and swinging back up to land on it. And they keep changing places. And it ends up being the sort of farcical routine of them moving around trying to fight and being separated by the mother who's standing in the middle, keeping them from each other. And so let's see how they do. I'm going to do acrobatics once again.
7.
Clowns? Eh? Maybe? Clowns will
Not
make
a
it a
critic.
success, right?
Well,
It's not a critical. No, the clowns will only. Oh, what does it do?
Yeah, clowns would make it a success if it's a failure.
Does it increase it by 1? I thought it just ignored the
Or it
results
ignores
of a
the bad
failure.
part.
Let's see. A failed trick becomes success, and if it
It's
was a
worth it on
critical
theirs.
failure,
It's worth
That
it on
is
there to have a lot of
instead.
excitement.
so
Yeah, that
Okay.
+3, we need that.
Yeah, totally worth it.
so 0 excitement, 0 anticipation, and something bad happens.
Do
During
they
that.
fall because
No,
of the
they
injury?
don't fall. No, it's only if you critically fail
I see.
that they fell.
Okay, so we can send in the clowns as a couple of them get close to falling, and then the clowns rush in with one of those big fake nets, or there's one of those big fake trampolines, and end up coaxing the member that's going to fall anyway off this rope to land in it, and it's just full of like some sort of whipped cream or powder or something.
So you send in the clowns on the last action. You get 3 excitement because the crowd loves it. The Featherfall 5 seem to like it as well since they'll have to perform again with the dangerous conditions. And you have 16 excitements and 20 anticipation. Oh, it's awfully close. You need to hit that 20 though, or you get a really crappy payday.
So both of the next tricks have to succeed on their 2 actions.
Well, both
Oh
the
wait,
next trick-
mine's double excitement, isn't it?
so's the Flamboni
And
Sisters.
Flamboni.
Yeah. Maybe we just need 2 successes total, and we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
If you each succeed once, then we'll be perfect.
I'm anticipating and excited. So far we've criticaled, basically, the anticipation.
Yeah, you got it all up to 20. I mean, you got it as high as you can go.
Yeah, we only need 4 more, and the thing is to crit the performance overall, the whole circus, you need your excitement to equal your anticipation. Other than that, as long as the Flamboni Sisters and Hap both succeed at 1 action, then we'll do it. We'll hit it right on the money.
Oh, yes.
That's hard for me, though.
No, that's fine. You just gotta succeed once.
Yeah, but that involves rolling dice, and I'm bad at that.
But once.
Actually, in the double won't mess you up because you're on an even number. You're on 16. But that could have messed you up because if you're on an odd number, it would have been impossible to get that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
math.
And you've got that 1 hero point waiting.
Yeah.
Well,
so-
they're going to reset when we start over. So now everyone will have 1 again. So
Okay. I kind of took a lot of the spotlight, so I'm sorry, everyone.
Oh,
It's okay.
I
What
think
is your
that's fitting.
Hap, what do you use? What does Hap use for the trick?
I
What skill?
use-
Intimidate, right?
Oh, yeah. Intimidate is fire.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
remember, if you're using Intimidate for a fire trick, you get a +1 to your roll.
Is that from... What's that from?
You have some sort of
The fire trait says that.
fire trait.
Okay, because I also have the elemental bloodline, and my blood magic gives me a +1 intimidate when I use my bloodline fire spells.
Yeah, the fire trait has Intimidation in parentheses, and if there's a skill in parentheses and you use it for that kind of trick, you get a +1 to the roll. So
So theoretically, I have a
combo.
+9 on it.
Are they both circumstance?
Do they stack?
Status. This is status bonus on blood magic.
Oh, okay, yeah,
and the
those stack then.
circus one is a circumstance one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's not-
great. But it's true. I will still mess it up. I'll still roll 2
No, you'll
hit
roll
ones
1.
in a row.
you'll roll 1, I'm sure. Yeah, fire's intimidation.
Adoran will light a candle for you as well.
Let's see. In
Let
fact, the only
alone
ones you
some
have
alchemist
are
fire.
agile, animal, fire, and water.
Water.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
for start.
Wait, how did you guys do your trick then? How did the various people do their tricks?
I did acrobatics and athletics.
They did agile.
I was choosing agile, but I actually forgot to only do the -4. So
Oh, so both of you were agile?
it's fine. It wasn't 1 point away, so it didn't matter.
Okay. Because there are the other ones like magical, because like you can't use magic. Beast, Zircana, dance.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting magical tricks.
Here we go. Let's see. I guess anything that's agile you're allowed to do.
Mwahaha.
But you couldn't do like a standard strength based trick because you don't have it, I guess.
Well, you can do any check. It's more the added trait bonus you can't do.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you're
'Cause
right.
your
right,
your-
it's the traits.
Yeah, your
I
trick
see.
doesn't have to have a trait. Plus, you can retrain it with downtime or something, and you can always change your trick between levels when you level up.
Right, and then it looks like you do get 2 tricks later, and then you could actually go twice in the same act, or 3 times, or 4 times.
So that's like 2 rounds of 3 actions.
Yes, but using a different.
Ooh.
I think. I gotta look into it because they describe it a little differently in the rules because it says you can like swap them out. I don't know.
I'd
Yeah,
like to do
It
that.
made it sound like you had multiple skill checks just in case, like, oh, the tent is down and you're performing out in the weather and it's raining, so you can't use fire traits or
Well, that's exactly why some of the NPC tricks have multiple roles because they can have things happen where they can't use like their acrobatics. They have to use athletics or something.
yeah.
Things
So
like
good
that
to have
will
multiple
occur.
skill checks over time.
See, the circus is interesting. I was wondering, it actually is working out, I think, really well. It's actually
Yeah.
it's pretty exciting to do this circus. I thought it was going to be easy. It's actually pretty complex. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of balancing.
Eventually, I want half of my act to be interpretive dance, and I have a
Ooh,
lot of performance for it.
Yeah.
What's the other half going to be?
Fire.
Everything burns.
Half fire, half interpretive dance,
Isn't that a good combo?
and all attitude.
Yeah, I don't know anything different. I'm glad we didn't kill those snakes.
If we killed them, we could have made it part of the thing and built excitement. A fight, a snake fight.
Oh, no. Actually, you would have negative. If you got them out successfully
Oh.
without doing it, you would have built excitement. If you
Oh,
killed
really?
them, you would
Okay.
have actually hurt. It's actually would have hurt you because no one wants to see people killing snakes in the middle
Yeah.
of circus. That's a bad thing. You don't want that.
Oh, that's new to me.
You needed me.
Yeah.
I was ready to murder some snakes.
You're in showbiz, so you got to think a little differently in this case because like things like that people don't want to see. Like that's not something people want.
Pathfinder Society is going to show up and be like, "What kind of circus here are you running?" We've gotten.
Well, you got little
reports."
kids. Like kids don't want to see you killing things. That's like terrible.
That was awesome. You guys are amazing. I love it, and it makes it really because Atron is such a different character for me to play since I usually play a more in-your-face, boisterous, super friendly, engaging type character. So to have really these 3 PCs as the counter where you're connected and friendly and more involved makes playing Atron possible without bringing it down. So thank you very much.
Nice. Yeah,
Thank
I love
you.
the brooding that he does.
Thank you. I've never really gotten that chance, so it's fun for me. I don't get to PC much anyway, so this.
You've
is
never
exciting.
brooded before.
Yeah, I'm more like, hey, how's it going? Let's all get together. I get to be different with Atron, so it's fun.
Don't worry, it's only going to be the next 3 years.
Love it.
Hey everyone, Steven here. Thanks for listening to the 3 Ring Adventure podcast. We'll have a new episode next week, and every week until we're done with the entire adventure path. Right now we're juggling multiple podcasts, including the wrap-up of the Fall of Plaguestone Pathfinder Adventure podcast, as well as our long-running Starfinder Dead Sons Adventure Path podcast. So the exact regular day for the release of this podcast is still being determined, but we expect that Tuesday will become the regular day for the 3 Ring Adventure podcast. So look for that in the near future. In addition, also be on the lookout for our recently announced Tales from the Black Lodge, an episodic adventure podcast with different casts and different adventures every few weeks. That should be going up any day now, and I think you're all going to like it. It's very different from anything we've ever done before at Roll for Combat, and we're even working with Paizo on this one. So look for that in the very near future. As for the upcoming RPG Superstar 2020 contest, here's what I can tell you. First of all, we have recently become a licensed partner with Paizo, which includes our Dead Sons, the Fall of Plaguestone, the 3 Ring Adventure podcast, as well as the Tales from the Black Lodge podcast. This license also covers the acquisition of the RPG Superstar contest. Going forward, Roll for Combat will run and manage this contest on a yearly basis. We've actually been working really hard these last few months, getting the contest ready, and I think you're going to like the results. The new contest is going to have multiple winners, dozens of prizes, and result in the minimum of a 160-page book containing all of the winning entries. In addition, we've designed the contest to be faster and to require less rounds. This time, contestants will only need to enter one design, and there will be 2 rounds of voting, one by professional judges and then one by the public. Expect the contest to go live and the RPGSuperstar.com website to be updated during the week of March 16th, where you'll be able to read all about the contest and enter right away. So once again, make sure you bookmark and follow RPGSuperstar.com, and you can find out more about the podcast as soon as it goes live. In addition, make sure you follow Roll for Combat on Facebook, Twitter. Make sure you join our Discord channel at discord.rollforcombat.com, and you will be always up to date on the latest information on the RPG Superstar contest. And finally, of course, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. We're wrapping up Fall of Plaguestone and wrapping up Dead Sons in the next couple of weeks. And obviously, we've already started 3 Ring Adventure, and very soon, Tales from the Black Lodge. Listen to those podcasts, and we'll have special announcements only on the podcast and nowhere else all about the RPG Superstar contest. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always find me at the Discord channel. Once again, discord.rollforcombat.com. I'm there. Everyone who plays all of our podcasts are there. And on top of that, if you actually want to listen to us do the podcasts, you can come a Patreon. For $5, you can get the podcast early, but better yet, $10 a month, you can listen to us record them live. You can watch us record them live. We usually record 3 Ring Adventure once a week, as well as Tales from the Black Lodge. So twice a week, you too can watch and listen to us record each episode. In addition, you could also listen to the pre-show banter, almost none of which has ever appeared on any podcast or on any Patreon bonus content. Just go to patreon.rollforcombat.com, become a $10 Patreon, and you too can join in on the fun. So look for a big update on RPGSuperstar.com next week, and I'll talk and see all of you later.
You've been listening to Roll for Combat 3 Ring Adventure, a Pathfinder actual play podcast. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com. You can also find us and play various games on our Discord channel at discord.rollforcombat.com. You've been listening to Roll for Combat. Until next week, always remember, it's all fun and games until the healer runs out of spells.